My 3-year-old has expressed to me that she don't feel safe around white kids, and I don't know what to do about it. Are y'all talking to y'all toddlers about race? Because I am. I had to have a conversation with my 3-year-old the other day that I thought was not going to be something we discussed for years. Story time. Y'all know my 3-year-old is in daycare and she goes to a Montessori. Now, me personally, I grew up in a black ass neighborhood, black ass schools, black ass teachers. Like, I didn't realize that my circumstances were unique until I was an adult. I didn't realize that not every kid gets to see themselves reflected in their educators their entire life. It wasn't until I got to be an adult that I realized a lot of black people don't grow up with black teachers, black administrators, black principals, learning about African American history and things like that in school as a requirement. I mean, we even in elementary school had black academic challenges, which was like Jeopardy with all black information. I didn't know that this was something different. So fast forward to me as a mom, I made the conscious decision to put my daughter in a daycare that was diverse. I wanted her to be comfortable in rooms with kids that don't look like her, from all different backgrounds, different economic statuses, different races, different languages. I wanted her to have that experience because as an adult, when I got into the workforce, there was many times where I was the only black person in the room and I had to stand firm in that. And so I wanted her to have that growing up so that when she got in those situations, she would be comfortable. So now my child is one of now 3 black kids in her class. There was more. There was one that was her very best friend. She's gone. Another one that was a little boy that was her very best friend. He's now gone. And unfortunately, he left while my daughter was sick, so she didn't get to say goodbye, which really had her upset. This is when we started to have a problem. She came to me when she went back to school and realized that he was gone and said that another little girl, who was a little white girl, came up to her and told her, he's never coming back, you're never going to see him again, so you should just get over it. And my baby's feelings was hurt. So then, fast forward again to gym. Her teacher tells me she's no longer playing with the other kids in gym class, and I couldn't understand why. So I asked her, Mir, why aren't you playing with the other kids in gym? She said, I do. I play with Kelly. If Kelly is there, she's in another teacher's class. I said, oh, tell me about Kelly. This is the conversation that changed everything for me. I said, tell me about Kelly. And the first thing out of my child's mouth was, she's brown like you and me, mama. I said, okay. I didn't say, what does she look like? I said, tell me about her. She said, oh, because she's brown like me and you, mama, she's a safe friend. So I play with her when she's there. When she's not there, I don't have a safe friend. Instead, I just play with the teacher. Keep in mind, y'all, the teacher is black as well. So it wasn't the fact that there wasn't other kids available or that she just didn't feel close to anybody. It's that she's identifying that people that look like her are safe. She's 3. Now, this may not seem like a big deal to some people, but as a black person, as a black woman, and as a mother, the thought that my child doesn't feel safe around people that don't exactly look like her really bothered me, because that was my whole reason for putting her in this particular school, was so that she would feel comfortable in any space. So I asked her, why do you say that Kelly is your only safe friend? She said, because the other kids speak mean to each other, and they're very mean to me. They play too rough, and they're not kind. So I just play with a safe friend. Now, I know I'm going to have people in the comments that say, oh, well, kids can be mean. It may have nothing to do with race. But it's the fact that my 3-year-old felt the need to say to me that she felt safe with people that looked like her that sent my spidey senses going and said, okay, I have to do something about this. I have to figure this out, but I also have to have a conversation with my child. So I did. I explained to her that safety doesn't necessarily come from a particular skin tone, that you can have people that are unsafe of any race. But to be honest, I do get where she's coming from, that she feels safer amongst her own. I just do. I mean, can we look at the state of the world and say any different? I told her that it's her job to be kind no matter what someone looks like, no matter what their background is, no matter what their color is. She is only responsible for herself, and as an individual, she needs to be kind to those that are kind to her. But baby, I didn't think I was going to have to start having these conversations so young. And then I started thinking about other interactions that she has had with kids that look like her and kids that don't. And the reality is, she's more comfortable with kids that are brown. Now, don't get in these comments and say nothing crazy, because I'm not 1 and the 2. All right, she's 3. But you can't just completely ignore the fact that with her own eyes and in her own little 3 years of experience, this is what the world has taught her. The world has taught her, not at home, because I got friends of every color, baby, and we all get down. The world has taught her that there are people that don't look like her that are going to treat her differently. And I observed it in the classroom. There are kids, white kids in her class, that speak to their parents all kinds of crazy, speak to other kids crazy, and they are physically abusive to each other, and it doesn't get reprimanded and it doesn't get corrected. I've watched parents watch their children do some very unsavory things and just say, oh, well, they're just being kids. No, that has to be guided, that has to be corrected. You can't allow them to do these things, but they do. So then I had to make the executive decision with my husband, of course, to move my baby, and I'm sad about it, because she loved her daycare at one point, but I will not leave her in an environment where she does not feel safe and she does not feel celebrated. Now, her current school is not celebrating Black History Month. They have done nothing to educate these kids about the many people of color that have contributed to this society. So she's not getting it there. She, of course, gets it at home. But just the overall idea that she's so aware of the fact that there are differences between how she can behave and how others can behave, how she treats others and how they treat her, all based on what she looks like. I mean, I've even had adults on this app point out the fact that my child was dark skinned, and so she's going to be different. So, I mean, it's a lesson she's going to have to learn, but why does she have to learn it so young? So y'all tell me, are y'all raising y'all kids to be kind to everybody? Are y'all pointing out race to them in a small age, like, what are y'all doing? Because this really had me bothered. Like, I don't want her to be upset every day when she goes to school, but I also don't want to ignore the fact that we do live in America, and so this is prevalent. So y'all help me out. What are y'all doing? What are y'all saying? We are changing her daycare to a predominantly black daycare where they are actually talking about all the Black history facts and all of those things. So I'm letting her follow in my footsteps, so to speak, but just help me out. What are y'all doing? I need some guidance, because I don't want my baby just growing up blind, but I also don't want her unprepared. So y'all get in the comments, let me know what y'all doing, or even stitch this video, because I need some help. I love y'all. Bye. Oh, and happy Black History Month. I love y'all.